Hey there and welcome to the channel. This is day 2 at Barber Motorsports Park with NASA Midsouth. I ended race 1 on Saturday in 9th place, so that's where I'm starting this race. If you'd like to see that and my qualifying lap, look down in the description. I try to jump the green here and it catches me a little bit off guard because I'm out of throttle. I don't lose touch with the car in front of me, but if I were in my 1.6, that would have caused some issues. So since there's kind of a big cluster of cars in front of me, I'm just trying to get the best run up the hill and down this straight as I can and hope that there's some space on the inside to maybe get a car or two through the hairpin. So I try to rush the 2 to 3 shift, same shift that I had issues with on Saturday, and I pay for it. So starting in 9th and now I'm down to 11th. As we saw a couple times on Saturday, these cars tried to go too wide through the chicane and they pretty much make it, and then a substantial amount of wheel to fender contact there. And of course I decide to shove it down the inside, and luckily that black, white, and red card backs out of it. So Saturday night after the race was over, taking my GoPro out of the housing and left the housing open, and we had a pop-up shower, and that's what you're seeing here is a little bit of condensation on the lens. It goes away before race 3, so at least there's that. So my goal for this race, after I had a couple of mental mistakes on Saturday, was just less mental mistakes, not even necessarily have a better finishing position, just run a better quality race. Not starting off well with that missed shift from 2 to 3 in the hairpin, but we'll see if we can make up some places because we're back to where I started. And I can still see all the way up to 4th going down the straight here. So I know if I can keep a clean race that I have a decent chance to work up the field here. Admittedly, it is very early and it is only lap 3, but still. Get a slightly better run out of 3 and 4 than Bill does here, and then he comes back under braking. I can start to see him in my rearview mirror there, and I'm not sure if I'm going to gap him or if he's going to stay at my quarter panel, so I'm trying to plan as if we're going to be going too wide, and I see he either lifts or I just outmotor him a little bit. So a lot of the strategy in racing comes in, thinking about when you're going to catch people and where would be a sane place to pass. Going through there is not really a great place. Pretty much the chicane all the way down to turn 1 is not a no passing zone, but you're not going to make a high percentage pass going through there. Turn 1 is probably the closest place to make a pass, but you have to be right tucked up under somebody's bumper to make that work. Of course, here I'm trying to get a better run, like I have done a couple times already through this corner, and the car just keeps pushing. Yeah, it's understeering so badly, I for a second think that I may have broken something in the suspension. So with that in my head and trying to make up time to the two cars in front of me, get a little crossed over here, trail the brake a little bit too much. Really have to brake at a straight line and just on the rumble strip on entry to that corner. I get rewarded with the trip through the grass. Somebody a couple years ago had joked that Barber Motorsports Park will charge you if you go off into the grass, and I relayed that to one of the other guys in the paddock. He just kind of laughed at me. And then, of course, I go off in the grass, so I am awaiting my bill from Barber as we speak. So as it was in the first race on Saturday, this is about kind of damage limitation and just putting in some decent laps. I'm not sure if that 944 saw me. It looked like he was going to try and come across. Luckily no contact, and was able to move past him pretty quickly. So same as it happened on Saturday, I'm coming up behind three cars that are kind of in the thick of battle, so to speak. A little bit of passing going on, a little bit of defending going on. Everything just kind of slows you down. The thing you have to consider when you're racing somebody is every time you go offline or you go side by side, you're both getting slowed down and the people behind you are catching you. Which in my case, you know, I'm a little bit faster than these guys. So we'll see what I can do here. I lift way early going into this corner just because of what happened on the previous lap. I'm pretty sure that I can keep tucked up under the bumper here, but not risk, you know, having to brake in the compression zone or do anything weird that will cause me to go straight on. Oddly enough, that was actually my fastest lap of the weekend, and probably could have gotten a little, you know, 2 or 3 tenths had I not been in traffic at the back end of that lap. And even with the understeer here, I get a better run than the white and blue car. So Bill in the gray, red, and white car is faster than this car that's in front of him, but the car in front of him is making himself pretty wide, so I'm going to try to bump Bill so we can, you know, maybe draft past him and both make up some positions. He goes wide through here. And I don't think Bill was thinking that I was going to be able to make it back on track there. But that causes kind of both of them to lose speed going down the straight. And again, I'm lifting way early because I just don't know what to expect. Probably turn in a little bit early there and I get rewarded by a trip off the track again. If anything, this should be a lesson to people, you know, if you're faster than somebody, get past them and don't go off track, so you have to try and pass them again. So this is really just giving me a workout on planning when to pass people. It also gives a lot of good examples for you of what not to do. So this is only a 25-minute race, so I know I've got less than 10 minutes on track. So we're probably looking at about 3 laps still. I'm not desperate, but I'm gonna make a move that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. Probably over slow for that corner, but I kind of lose track of where the white and blue car is, so I want to make sure that we both make it through the corner. Somehow make up quite a bit of distance just on the straight there. I don't know if one or both of them are lifting through the chicane, but I'm right up on their bumper, and I will not be fooled again by them both braking going uphill there. So I'm already thinking try to get a good run out of the last corner and maybe make it happen through one. Bill's motioning me to bump draft him, but I don't quite get close enough to him to be able to make that work. And he's sliding through the corner. He has a good save there. I think he's done, and he just keeps tank slapping all through the corner, and I lose track of him again. He's in my blind spot, so I don't know where he is at this point. So he kind of disappears. So I just assume he's still side by side with me, which he is. And as soon as I see him pop out, I give him that thumbs up, because that was a really good save. I went up to him afterwards and said, "Dad, I was real worried. I thought you were going to take both of us out, but that was a pretty fantastic exercise in fast hands." So we're at 18 minutes now. I know I've only got maybe a lap or two to get a pass done on this car. So I'm already trying to plan it out a little bit. I'm thinking maybe I can get a good run into one. Of course, I turn in a little bit early and use too much of this curbing to make that really a reality. Even with that, he doesn't pull away from me so much. So my next thought is I'm going to try to get a better run again through turn 3 and 4 and get him into the hairpin. And he kind of gives me about 3/4 of a car width there, and I'm thinking maybe go outside. We'll follow him through and maybe see if I can double under him here. He kind of shuts the door on me. I'm a little bit too far away to try it through this corner here, but I also see lap traffic, I think. So I'm hoping that will maybe, cause a little bit of mayhem and cause him to have to lift somewhere that he wouldn't normally, and I just be able to get a better exit out of the corner. Unfortunately, no help there. So kind of my last ditch effort here is to try to get him at the line. Just get a better run and carry more speed through the last corner. And he bobbles it a little bit, so perfect entry here. And of course I hit the rumble there and not quite enough speed. Seem a little bit upset about that. But, I mean, started 9th, ended 9th, and had a lot of off-track excursions. So wasn't too bad of a race, but wasn't super happy with it. Alright, race 3. I was supposed to start 9th. Ended up getting the lucky bump. The guy in 5th didn't make it to grid, so I ended up starting 7th. And there was a little bit of jumbling of the grid beforehand, so some of these other guys are out of position. There's the green. This gray car in front of me doesn't get a great start. It's fine. We end up all making it through turn 1 side by side. He leaves the door open for Bill there. And I guess lifts going uphill, allowing me an entry to steam down the inside. And I'm not expecting much out of this, but this black and white car just goes wide and locks up, and Bill in the black, white, and red car lifts, and I go from 7th to 5th, which is where I qualified on Saturday morning, so kind of back where I started. Now, these front 4 have been fast all weekend long, so really my only chance to pass any of them most likely was going to be at the beginning of the race. So here it's just a management game. Don't make any mistakes, run away from the cars behind me, and hopefully keep sight of the cars in front of me in case, you know, something happens that I can take advantage of. Of course, I don't start my Garmin, so I don't really have any timing data or lap time data. So later on in the race, I start wondering like how much time I actually have left. But when there's this much open track behind you and in front of you, you can afford to take different lines, different braking points. Yeah, of course you want to try and close up to the car in front of you, but at some point you may need to be a little bit realistic about your chances of catching somebody that much faster than you. Coming up on lap traffic in this 944. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to catch him somewhere between turn 1 and turn 3, probably towards the end there. He catches me off guard though and lifts early and just continues the lift through the corner, which is fine. Get the pass done. I can still see the front 4 in front of me, which is a good sign. I'm just see them cresting the rise there. So looking at the times, the guy who finished directly in front of me, his fastest lap was about 1.2 seconds faster than me. And all of his laps are faster than my fastest lap. So like I said, management game of you just got to be there at the end of the race and see what happens. See if you get lucky. The good news is I'm getting all the track time that I want, by myself. You can treat this kind of like an HPDE session. Don't go too nuts, because you don't want to go off track or anything. But you got to do something to keep your mind engaged. This is a 30-minute race, and after lap 1, I'm not really fighting for position anymore. I'm just trying to maintain and not drop any time. So you gotta keep something to keep yourself engaged and not check out and make some mistakes. So this is my fastest lap of the race, and by the weekend by like 100th, I think, by looking at time. And of course I don't know this at the time. I'm just trying to try a couple different things. And even with the car pushing through there, managed to apparently make up some time through there. I'd have to look at the sector times to see, if I had any optimal sectors. It's hot this day as it was on Saturday. It's still pretty hot outside. It's still close to the 90s and pretty high humidity, and I'm inside a black car. It's still going to be a little warm outside. You'd think, living in the South the majority of my life, I'd understand that, wearing black and in a black car would not be a great idea, but it's the price you pay for being stylish, I guess. And I've graduated to no braking and just kind of rolling through that uphill section there. And it seems to be working out for me. It's not unsettling the car at all. I still turn in a little bit early, but I missed the curb entirely, and it allows me to keep in throttle. Like I said, this was my best lap of the race and of the weekend. Ended up putting down a 149.089, about a tenth better than my previous fastest lap. A little bit of traffic management here again. She brakes way early and lifts and coasts. Give a little wave. Thanks for letting me get by safely. So I know this car in front of me isn't a Miata, so it's not in my race directly, but you always want to try and catch cars in front of you. I always have that sort of chase mentality. If there's a car in front of me, I want to catch it, regardless who it is. So this is a out-of-class 944, and it kind of helps me, get the lead out a little bit and try to set some more consistent laps. At this point, I don't know how many laps I have left, but I definitely think I'm going to catch this 944. Tires are getting a little bit greasy, as they do with long races. I just kind of misjudge it a little bit. And again, of course, I'm trying to trail brake a little bit too much. Literally, as soon as the corner worker gets the yellow flag out, I'm already gone. And there's nobody within at least 15 seconds of me at this point. White flag is out though, so 1 lap to go, and I'm glad to see it. I'm pretty content with 5th. 5th was kind of like my goal here, but I notice off to the side, see that orange car that was running in 3rd had a mechanical problem. And I inherit 4th place, which is great. That's my best finish ever in Spec Miata. But I've got to finish the race. I got to make it through these last couple of turns, no spins, no mechanical problems. Just keep it drama free. But yeah, this is exciting. This is first weekend at a new track, first weekend in a new car. Very successful from my perspective. Just proves I need to toughen up my mental game a little bit. If you've watched this far into the video, I really do appreciate it. If you would throw me a like and maybe a subscribe. I'll see you at the track.